We're living in a relatively peaceful time. Like there's war in places like Ukraine or specific places in the Middle East or Africa, but generally there's never been a more peaceful and more technologically advanced time. Economically, we can't really say the same, but a trash economy is always going to come around every now and then. But overall, we're living in a pretty good time. And this creates weak people because good times create weak people. There's a saying, and you might have heard it, and you might call me cringe for it or something, but it goes like this: tough times create tough men create good times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. It's an entire cycle. The part of the cycle that I really feel like society is in right now is a time of weak men who are about to create tough times. Because if you look at the people nowadays, we're weak, bro. Like, probably the weakest generation ever. So we're bound to create tough times somewhere in the near future. And these tough times are probably going to be worse than every single war in history combined. I think that this next era of hardship is legitimately going to set human civilization back. We're probably gonna go back to using bows and swords like how we did like 1,000 years ago. Now the question is, are you ready for this? Do you have the physical, mental, and financial capabilities if something like this were to happen? If a nuclear war was to happen in our lifetime? If I'm being honest, I'm not even close to being prepared for this either. Like, yes, I can use the argument that I'm a very young kid or whatever, but I'm not gonna use that. I don't have the skills to survive on my own, and you probably don't either. You probably don't even know how to fight or use a weapon. You probably don't know how to survive in the woods, and you might not even be physically fit enough to do any of that. The only people who are ever going to survive this nuclear war that we might face in 10, 20, or 50 years are the rich. None of us are powerful enough or have enough connections to be able to get ourselves out of an emergency situation like this. I know that it's difficult, but you have to at least try to become successful outside of the work that you already do. Someone who's rich and already knows how to fight and survive without the assistance of modern technology has a much higher chance of surviving a nuclear war or a third world war than the average person. Someone like Habib or even Andrew Tate would be able to survive because they have power, connections, and they know how to fight, and they also know how to survive in the woods. They would be far off the grid after the first nuke even launches. If you and I survive, we would probably be in the middle of nowhere dying from starvation because we don't know how to survive on our own. We need to get prepared because the tough times are coming soon. It might be next year or in 50 years, but what we know is that they're coming soon, and even if they don't come, it would still be beneficial to know how to survive on your own in the wilderness or whatever. At some point in your life, you need to learn how to hunt and fight if something were to happen, which it might. Anyways, that's all I have to say for today. Take care. Peace.